Now, ladies and gentlemen, as most of you know, CS2 trading is rapidly changing with next to zero notice or detail from Valve. Valve just last week sent out an official update which tried to put a stop to peer-to-peer trading. And for about 24 hours that worked, until websites, especially the more sketchy GAMBA ones, found some workarounds to not get the site or the people using it banned. And following this just a couple days later, Valve sent out more updates, but nothing official with a blog post. And from what most people can make out of these, is Valve has essentially made it impossible to track trades, especially when they're made on third-party sites. At least that's what most people thought. And now the big workaround is essentially just Chrome extensions, which we'll touch on later in the video. Today's video is going to be my last on this trading situation, that being until Valve sends out more detail of what's been going on. Until then, we'll be back to normal commentaries. Today, I want to discuss the situation at hand. With all these sketchy, mostly just GAMBA sites finding a workaround, that being with Chrome extensions, what will Valve's next move be, since they're now being put in a rock and hard spot, but also without nuking trading or the old ways altogether. Now, today's video sponsor is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a buying, but most notably trading marketplace, that being for your CS2 items. You can trade off your old skins for something new. All you do is log in with Steam, you start a trade, and any cash remaining goes to your available balance on the site. When it comes to trading an item you don't have enough balance for on the site, SkinsMonkey has a large variety of deposit options. By using my code MANDO, you can get up to a free $5, and by depositing alongside using my code, you get an additional 35% of a deposit bonus. With SkinsMonkey's large variety of skins, they also offer daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways. If interested, the link will be in the top of the description down below. Now, this is Luke in the post edit on April 10th, the same day this video is going up. In some recent news, which this all stemmed from this drama, G2 has apparently dropped their rigged casino sponsor, that being CSGO Roll. Now, everyone on social media is calling for every other CS esports team to do the exact same, which I believe they're gonna follow through with. But this now has my mind rolling with just a few questions. Number one is, do they know something? Is Valve just not gonna go after the unregulated casinos? Or are they gonna start going after people who have taken sponsorships from them? Now, for me, I don't really know, I'm assuming not. And number two is more of an assumption than a question, but I think this is gonna cause a lot of problems for the CS space, but mainly just esports teams. I've had a commentary in the back burner ready to go up for the past couple of days, and it's essentially just how Counter-Strike esports is so unobtainable for the average player, let alone team owner. It's extremely expensive to get into, let alone make money and keep everything afloat. And the one thing that pays the most, that pays the bills, keep the lights on, gets these new players in, that keeps a lot of these tier 2 to 3 orgs up and running is, well, a lot of these gambling sponsors. And with these now getting protested by the spectators, but at what seems like Valve now, are a lot of these teams even going to be able to stay afloat and actually be in the CS space at all? That's just to shine some light on this question, which is going to be a commentary most likely later this week after doing some revisions to it. Back to the video. Now, firstly, for today's video is a quick summary for those who don't know, understand, or maybe need more detail of the situation. Now, if you want more detail and context, I have 2 other videos on this I suggest you go check out. But going back a couple weeks to the PGL Major in Copenhagen, CSGO Empire allegedly paid somebody, a fan at the event, to rush the stage, pretty much protesting it, while also breaking the trophy and scaring everyone there because no one, spectator-wise, or the pro players, had any idea what was going on. And they were pretty much just screaming about how CSGO Roll was a scam, and going back to that drama from a little over a year ago. Which leads us to right now in the present day. Valve seems to have been before the Major, during the event, and now here in the present, seemingly going after just GAMBA sites, which led to Valve releasing that update just last week, essentially nuking peer-to-peer trades, especially with third-party sites. While for a little bit, you could no longer track trades of things going through, so the sites couldn't pay other people out, some sites temporarily shut down, funds were on hold, it was just a big mess. Now, most of them, as of recording on the 9th of April, a lot of this already has been fixed, which is great, but that's on the site's end, not necessarily Valve. We still have no context or detail of what's going to happen or what even happened back then. Now, why the discussion of peer-to-peer versus bot sites are still relevant, at least for today's commentary, is a few years ago, Valve essentially, after they went after GAMBA for the first time, after the whole Phantom Lord T Martin situation, Valve essentially nuked all the bot accounts for the sites they wanted to get shut down that had millions of dollars in skins on them, which then that led to a lot of people not wanting to open a GAMBA site, or at least using bot accounts because you were risking a lot there, which then Valve implemented the 7-day trade hold, which made it even harder. You couldn't just cash out immediately, you had to wait 7 days. Yeah, GAMBA sites make a lot, but 7 days you can rack up a whole lot of money, especially in one account. And then most of these sites switched to peer-to-peer, so Valve just couldn't come outright and ban someone for trading skins, which this now leads us to the present day of what most of these websites are doing after this most recent update on April 2nd, introducing the 10-day trade hold. They still work, but you have to have auto accept on to receive items, so the site knows you're not trying to scam somebody for the item that you're buying or selling to, which, yes, that sounds great on paper, especially for normal sites, but not so much for the GAMBA, since that's Valve's main target. At least that's what most people think in the scene. Now, CSGO Empire has recently put out a tweet within the past couple of days, which means they're not alone nor the only ones who will be doing this in the future, because that means GAMBA sites are still up and running, they can operate correctly, and that's until Valve cracks down even harder, which I think they will, because this is their main target and has been from the beginning. Most of these sites, especially the shady ones, are currently using a Chrome extension, which is yet another third-party client, if that's what you want to call it, on top of all the other shady crap they're doing, which leads to the question, what will Valve do to stop it? Now, the answer to this is not one to be loved, but simply we just don't know. I'm not going to sit here and make up some BS to you. The only real solution solution would be one, to ban trading overall, to send out letters to all these sites to get shut down. But something I've come up with the past few days that I think makes a whole lot of sense is either Valve can write in the terms and conditions a lot more clearly than they have been in the past that gambling is not allowed whatsoever. And I think the best thing of all this is maybe when you sign into a site, especially one that's already sketchy that Valve maybe has on their list, you'll be greeted with another message of how you could be banned if you continue. You know, when you sign into a site, opens up another tab, you have to sign in through Steam. Yeah, right there. And then like we previously mentioned, there's the option where skins are just outright banned entirely. If that went down, it would be one of the biggest controversies in gaming, maybe all of media of all time, because Valve would lose pretty much all of their player base. People wouldn't really trust Valve, on top of already the shady cheating situation stuff that's been going on the past few weeks. But let's not get ahead of ourselves at possibly a non-possible situation. I know that doesn't really make any sense. I just don't think that is possible of Valve just outright banning skins. Valve knows the amount that they lose, that being with players but also cash coming in, which what I believe is what they only really care about, just judging by the cheating situation right now. But with these gambling sites now back on the rise, it seems, and with them trying to figure out yet again another workaround, this is what personally scares me the most. Because I feel like Valve hasn't made all these changes, come this far along, regulated this much stuff in such a short period of time to just kind of stop here. They want to probably complete the mission and end the war. Now, another thing to mention that I don't even know if is possible, Valve could stop peer-to-peer trades and just let you trade to a bot account of some sorts, and obviously still trade with your friends, because bots seem to be the safest, even though, well, peer-to-peer still works. But Valve can also trace the skins and see what's coming in and out of certain accounts to see if it is a gambling site, and you kind of get the rest. But if there's a will, there's gonna be a way, and we've learned this from all these changes in the past. If there's money to be made, a service is gonna be provided. It's just such a weird situation at the moment. As we have been the past couple of days, I would continue to expect a lot of these sites to have daily updates about their sites and on their social media of funds on hold, trading getting temporarily shut down, pretty much the marketplace in general, and just things of that nature. Anyway, to end today's video on a high note, according to some recent news and credible leakers, Valve's #1 priority has been and currently is an anti-cheat based off talks with the devs after an after party of the PGL Major, which is pretty exciting. With that being said, I hope you all have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, Fallout.